This is the Planet Reigate podcast.
Hello Planeteers, this is the podcast exclusively and uniquely about Reigate and Redhill and Merstham, Buckland, Betchworth and Brockham, the Planet Reigate area. Welcome to episode 19. I'm Peter Stewart, here for Saturday, January the 20th, 2024. On the way today, local food truck locations this week for great street food. Another local men's group starting up. This one is around a fire pit. Various exercise groups get a plug, power walking and fit steps. There's a hip-hop dance group for local toddlers, arts groups like singing and weaving and acrylic painting, a comedy night, drama workshops, how to make your own hazel hurdle. It's not somebody's name. It's a woven fence in a traditional style. In the news, what police have said about antisocial behaviour in Merstham this week. Did you join them in their online Zoom meeting? I did, and I listened in on your behalf. The local town, which is attracting more and more Londoners to live there. News about Pebble Hill, an unusual school project. And also, the new carpet in a local pub. Plus, our guest this week, local crime writer Nikki Mackay, her latest book, The Due Date, her fifth in 5 years. Plus, Roberta, the robot, asks Kate from Lie random questions on what she loves about living life in the best bit of Britain. We've got a Planet Reigate star with a car this week. Julie at the Children's Trust Bell Street in Reigate puts together an outfit for £28.50 that should be worth £150. And we have our 60-second soundscape. Before we go, at the end of the show, from Priory Park in Reigate. All right here on the Planet Reigate podcast. First of all, let's take a look at some of the correspondence that we've had during the course of the week. Mentioned Hedges and Hurdles group, didn't we, last week, and they've responded in kind. I really enjoyed listening to the Planet Reigate podcast this morning. It really is both interesting and informative about Reigate and the local area. Thank you for the shout out and mentioning our new location for our courses in Reigate. And we're speaking to Hedges and Hurdles, and hopefully we'll get them on a little bit later on in the spring on the Planet Reigate podcast. All Dance Abilities was mentioned last week as well. We've been amazingly featured on this incredible podcast, the Planet Reigate podcast. Thank you for giving us a lovely mention and spreading the words of our incredible SEND classes. Yeah, the SEND classes for children, and that was mentioned last week. Do you see how this works? Do you see how this works? If you send me information to be included in the podcast, I mention you on the podcast, yeah? I tell you whereabouts it is in the show, and then you mention me back, and then you get another mention. It all works together, doesn't it? And also, I heard this during the week. Yeah, a hearing, not just a seeing. It wasn't a text that I saw or an email that I received. This was audio form. In fact, it was video on Insta from Rachel of Eco Earlswood.
Just another Monday. Doing some admin, drinking coffee, hanging out with the cat, listening to the latest Planet Reigate podcast. When I hear this.
My local hero, I think, would be Rachel Wood, who runs Eco Earlswood, and she set up Eco Earlswood Farmers Market a few months ago, which is a lovely thing.
Thanks, Lucy's Ladle.
So, we mention you once, you mention us on your socials, and then we mention you a second time. That's how it works on the Planet Reigate podcast.
The Good Time Guide. Things to do and places to go on the Planet Reigate podcast.
Yes, your weekly planner for the next 7 days on the Planet Reigate podcast. The Good Time Guide will start for Saturday the 20th of January. And Reigate Priory Park Run. Yeah, usually we would tell you about things which are happening. This is something which isn't happening. So it's a warning that the event tomorrow, Saturday the 20th, is cancelled because of a school's cross-country in the park. So just be aware of that. Mentioned them last week, mentioned them again this week. All Dance Abilities, those Send dance classes are going on. They've got some in Croydon and also Hawley as well, but it's particularly local to us. Redhill Donnings every other Saturday. Infants 3 to 8 years old, 1 to 1:45. Juniors 9 to 16, 2 to 2:45. Yes, an inclusive dance company for all mobilities and abilities, specialising in Send dance classes to remove barriers in the community and allow individuals to express themselves freely through music and movements. So more details, alldanceabilities.co.uk. Whether you're giving Veganuary a go or your resolution is to eat more healthily the whole year, the Copper Pot Club has cooking classes to help you on your wellness journey. You'll learn how to cook a variety of delicious and nutritious meals that your whole family will love. Quick and easy to make as well. Breakfast, brunches, lunch boxes, easy weekday dinners. Now these classes are on Saturdays at St John's Community Centre in Redhill. Classes are £65. Go to thecopperpotclub.co.uk for more information and to book. You'll be aware of Adams Gallery in Reigate, and there's a new exhibition to the public Saturday. It's of original artists' posters by some of the 20th century's greatest artists like Picasso, Matisse and Hockney. And that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, because we're all invited to a drinks reception from 4 till 7 o'clock Saturday night. Pop along and enjoy the show and a drink in their historic, relaxed gallery setting. No need to RSVP. Just go along, grab a glass of wine and have a little look at the posters they've got going up there. Sunday the 21st of January, there's another litter pick, Court Lodge Fields around the River Mole. So Sunday 21st, 1:30 to 3:30. Litter pickers and rubbish bags are provided, and everyone's welcome, even if you just rock up for half an hour or so. And if you want to help out, you meet at the top end of the Six Bells car park. They will be there, they assure me, come rain or come shine. May be muddy, so be prepared for that, and thank you in advance. Monday the 22nd, Eco Earlswood lets me know food trucks in Earlswood in January. So Monday to Friday at East Surrey Hospital, Jack and Ellie's coffee van is going to be around. And also on Mondays 4 till 8 at the Plough Pub, sliced pizza van is going to be there. So while we're there talking about what's going on Monday as far as those food trucks go, let's also mention Booney Greek-style food at the Garibaldi pub, Thursday to Sundays, Pizza Craft at the Old Chestnut pub, Thursdays 5 till 8, and Fusilla Bites at the Garland pub, Saturday the 20th of January. The Surrey Hills Adventure Company at Buckland Lake says, are you having a quiet January but missing the company of your fellow mates? Why not come along to our next Men's Fire Circle on the 22nd at 7 at Buckland Park? We get together with no judgment and enjoy all that nature has to offer us with the glow of the fire pit to keep us warm and to light up our faces. You can find out more, book your place at theshack.co.uk/fire. Shack is SHAC for Surrey Hills Adventure Company, so theshack.co.uk/fire. Yeah, men's circles, we mentioned a similar thing, didn't we, last week? I believe that was over at Merstham. Men's circles offer a supportive and non-judgmental space where men can come together to share their experiences, thoughts and emotions. Emotional support, understanding, personal growth, community, camaraderie, accountability and reflection. Reigate Ladies Joggers have dropped a line to me because they've got some power walking sessions which have just started up. Monday and Wednesdays on the road, 7 o'clock from St Bede's. Saturday on the trails, 8 a.m. You need to check with them where they meet each week. The distance, around about 3 miles for an hour, and costs include £3 pay as you go, or it's included in your unlimited membership. So get more information from Reigate Ladies Joggers across social media. There's spaces on a 10-week-long parenting puzzle course. Nothing to do with jigsaws, but if you're caught in the cycle of nagging and shouting and feeling overwhelmed with family life, you can go along and join them. Mondays 7:30 in Redhill to learn some strategies that can make family life better for everyone. £30 a person for that 10-week course. It's suitable for parents of children aged 2 to teens and children also who are neurodiverse or are awaiting an assessment. You can get more information from Lisa at home-starteastsurrey.org.uk. Lisa is also on 07593 503 701. And don't forget that if you want some mention on the Planet Reigate podcast, then you can get in touch with us for your charity or non-profit event, or if it sounds like, frankly, good fun. Fill out the form you'll find at theplanetreigatepodcast.com, and if yours is a business, then you can get in touch anyway, and we'll have your people talk to our people, and we can do something a little bit special for you as well, incidentally. And also, as you've gathered, if we mention you, you mention us, you're likely to get more of a mention the next time round, because that's how it works. Okay, let's move on to Tuesday. Sarah says, feeling the post-Christmas blues and want to join an exercise class that doesn't feel like a chore? Try dancing yourself fit with my fabulous Fit Steps classes. Yeah, a feel-good dance fitness workout that's suitable for everyone over the age of 16. It's at the Coleman Redland Centre from the 23rd of January, which happens to be this coming Tuesday, 1 p.m. to 1:45, £8 on the door. Details, gymcatch.com, gymcatch.com, and you'll find out all the details there. Athletics Kids have a free trial at Reigate Parish School in the main hall on Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:15 for ages 2.5 to 4 years old, and Wednesday the 24th at 4:45 to 5:30 for ages 5 to 7. You can book your free trial via athletics.kids.com. It's another website address I've got to read out because it's not how it sounds. Athletics is ATHLETIX and kids KIDZ.com. So athletics.kids.com. More details for that. Okay, Reigate and Banstead Council says they've got a new residents' wellbeing project, Sing for the Soul, which starts on Tuesday. It's a weekly feel-good singing group aimed at boosting residents' health and well-being through music, relaxation and breathing exercises. It'll be taking place at the United Reformed Church, Shaw's Corner, just opposite the Hatch in Red Hill. Go along for a chance to boost your mood and release those endorphins. Release those endorphins, love it. Doors open from 6:45. More details, arts at reigate-banstead.gov.uk. And while we're here talking about how singing makes you feel better, and also at the United Reformed Church, is the Unison Choir, of course. And they, or more specifically, Nina, is my guest next week on the Planet Reigate podcast. But if you want to get involved with that one, as I say, arts at reigate-banstead.gov.uk. Red Hill Business Guilds meet next Tuesday for the first meeting of 2024. There'll be networking, followed by the chance to hear from their speakers, including Dwayne Kirkland from the council with an update on Harlequin, Heike Nip from the Good Consultancy Company, Paula Edwards with an update on the Christmas Destination Red Hill event, Charlotte Apaya from the Carrington School, and Tom Graham from Tom Graham Creative, which is a photography and video company. Now, there's no charge if you want to go along, but you will need to confirm your place. Email redhillbusinessguild@gmail.com, and they're going to be meeting at the Harlequin pop-up in the Belfry. Also in the Good Time Guide, let's move to Wednesday. Robin dropped me an email via the planetreigatepodcast.com with details of her Make Your Own Kimchi course. Yeah, back by popular demand, because the one last October, she says, was a sellout. So go along, learn how to make your own kimchi, fermented foods, really good in your diet, aren't they? And create a healthy gut. So bookings close today, Wednesday the 24th. The class is actually on the 27th of Jan at 3:30 at St John's Community Centre in Red Hill. £35. More information, head over to thecopperpotclub.co.uk. weat.co.uk. Get your toddler moving and grooving with the beats of hip-hop. Classes designed to engage and entertain toddlers and parents. So it's things like balance, coordination, control, good bit of music as well. They also work on rhythm, self-expression, spatial awareness and communication skills. And for more details on that, which happens Wednesdays 10:45 to 11:15 at Focus House, Bell Street in Reigate, for ages 2 to 4, then search out Lydia Whiteside, because she posted that on Facebook during the course of the week. Next Friday the 26th, Reigate and Banstead Council again calling all weaving maestros and anyone who'd like to give weaving a go. Join us on Friday at West Central Cafe in Redhill for a chance to meet like-minded people, share a hot drink as you interlace those warps and wefts. 2 words I never thought I would say in relation to weaving. Warps and wefts. Okay, session starts at 10 through till 1. Reserve a place. Arts at reigate-banstead.gov.uk. Brockham Arts Club booking for their adults paint and sip nights. The first of 2024 is at the studio on Friday, 7 till 9, £20. Fly into the new year by creating your own hummingbird acrylic painting on canvas, following a step-by-step tutorial. All materials are provided and you can feel free to take along a friend, and also some wine or bubbles. 16 plus, brockhamartsclub.co.uk. The Harlequin Pop-Up is hosting its first show of the year, Comedy Cottage. Yeah, an exciting lineup of comedians to the Belfry Shopping Centre for a night of comedic entertainment from 8 o'clock. Tickets £13. Go to the harlequintheatre.co.uk box office if you want to book a place for that. Yeah, the online booking office is still up and running. B Stars Friday Night Project is coming to Merstham. It's at the primary school. If you want to try something new this term, it's an after-school club. Activities, games, you can build confidence, make new friends, have loads of fun as well. There's no charge for this club. It's weekly, every Friday between 5 and half 7 for ages 8 to 11 and 11 to 14. And we always go to the next Saturday as well, don't we? Gatton Community Theatre next Saturday the 27th is at All Saints Church in South Merstham. They got some free drama workshops going on there. Staging large-scale open-air productions. They're drama groups, they tell me. So if you want to be involved with one of those, any age, experience or ability can take part in those workshops and productions, and there's no charge for any membership or any production fee either. gattontheatre.org.uk. And talking about Gatton Park, space is still available on their hurdle making workshop. Saturday the 27th, 10 till 4. Yeah, you can learn about the traditional method of woodland management through coppicing in Temple Wood and make your own hazel hurdle, which is a traditional woven fence. Soup and a roll lunch is provided, £30 a person. Booking essential via gattonpark.co.uk. Okay, now something we mentioned last week on the programme. As part of our Hidden Treasure feature with Julie from the Children's Trust, Bell Street in Reigate, they've got something going on that she mentioned. Hopefully you caught that, which was a special event. So I caught up with Julie this week so she could tell me a little bit more about what their appeal is, ongoing for another week. And this is what she told me when I met her at the Children's Trust HQ at Tadworth Court.
We finish on the 29th of January, so plenty of time to come across to any of our 14 shops and bag yourself a bargain and dress to impress for less.
Okay, so that's the hashtag we're looking for people to use, isn't it? Dress to impress for less. What do they have to do?
They just need to come into any of our shops and select 3 items, and that can be clothing, footwear or accessories. And accessories is such a broad range, anything from a necklace, a scarf, hat, headgear for example. Style up an outfit and take a selfie. We all love doing that. And then post it on their own personal Instagram account and tag in @children's_trust. to enter into our competition for a chance of winning some prizes.
Okay, so this is for men and women, children, any age, yeah?
Yes, it is. Fully inclusive. We'll take anybody's money after all.
And you can go to any children's trust store. There are 14 of them, but we usually concentrate, don't we, on the one on Bell Street, Reigate.
Exactly. We've got shops across Kent, Sussex, but most of them are in Surrey.
So let me run through this again. You go into your store, you choose 3 items that you can put together in an outfit, and then you mention the catchphrase, the phrase that pays, dress to impress for less. You get 10% off, you go home, you dress up, you take a picture of yourself, and then you put it on social media, and remind us who you're tagging.
You tag in at children's_trust, and we are very well supported, and our competition is fronted by Laura Hamilton.
Okay, so remember the names. That's Channel 4, is it? Place in the Sun, yeah?
Yes, that's what I think she's most known for, but she does an awful lot of work and support for the Children's Trust and is very active on Instagram. So she's at Laura Hamilton TV.
And I think, doesn't she have her own clothes range as well?
She does. She introduced one last year, so she has a real interest in fashion, so such a good fit for us. And she has an affiliation with the Children's Trust. She has children, so absolutely gets why every item that somebody buys or donates to our shops can generate income to support children with brain injury.
Now, tell me about these prizes.
Well, the prizes for any average charity shopper or a newly converted shopper is actually first prize of £100 worth of vouchers to spend in our shops. So you can carry on this dress to impress and have fashion that doesn't cost the earth and create your own styles. So that will actually be 4 £25 vouchers, so you don't have to spend it all in one go. Second prize is £50 worth of vouchers, and third prize is £25. And I think you've got 3 months in which to redeem those. So if you're not ready to buy winter items now, spring's coming.
And you put this to the test as well, didn't you? Because you went into the store and you had a little look around and you tried to work out what you could have got for a small amount of money, but still impressing as well.
Exactly. I probably have 85% of my wardrobe as pre-loved, quite often items that are new with tags, not just from the Children's Trust. I'm an avid charity shopper. But we've put together an outfit for this week's Hidden Treasure, which would have retailed about £150. So it's a dress from H&M, a bag from Fiorelli, and a buttoned cape from Cerulean. Hadn't heard of them before, so the research for this piece is really useful for us in terms of pricing opportunities. But you'll get that for £28.50, those 3 items. So I'll talk about them a bit more on the Hidden Treasure feature.
Julie, thank you, and we will hear from you a bit later on in the show on the Planet Reigate podcast.
Planet Reigate is the castle at Betchworth and the castle in Reigate. And this is the Planet Reigate podcast.
A little bit later on, we have a star with a car in this week's Planet Reigate Stars feature. We'll hear more from Julie from the Children's Trust on Bell Street in Reigate, as we've heard a few moments ago. And also, before we go, at the end of the show, our 60-second soundscape from Priory Park and the skateboard park. Her latest book is The Due Date, her 5th in 5 years. A story of friendship, motherhood, and how far we would go to protect the ones we love. This week on the Planet Reigate podcast, my guest is local crime writer Nikki Mackay.
So I went to the Brit School, so I did that in 1994, but I did write at Brit. So I suppose I started off writing scripts, I guess. Just short little plays that we put on. One for positive, so like AIDS awareness, that was like a whole thing. I think that had quite a good run. And the guys I worked with were fantastic actors and I was not. So I kind of found my role in that group by writing.
So you don't particularly want to be on the stage, you don't be performing.
No.
So you're more likely to be found at home in Reigate, hunched over. I was going to say hunched over a typewriter. That's a bit Murder She Wrote, isn't it? But
I wish it was like that, but no. I'm sat at my computer 99% of the time. I teach as well, so I teach creative writing. I'm at City Lit, and crime writers are fairly sociable, so there's lots and lots of crime writing festivals, so summer tends to be quite busy.
how do you plan a crime novel? I'm kind of imagining a whiteboard with lots of lines or a wall full of post-it notes and that kind of thing, and you
Yes.
tearing your hair out occasionally thinking, why did I write that? Because that now doesn't make sense looking back. I've now got to change that to go forward to make that happen later on.
Yes. I'm not much of a plotter. Like, I start out and I usually have an idea, so I have a scenario, this problem, what if this happened? Often I'll take a true case. I usually know how it begins, but that's prone to change. I have an idea of a character in my head, and I do have a board. I've got a set of blue boards with, and I pin speech notes on them in different colours. So I tend to write first person, present tense. I'll often have a couple of voices, so they'll be colour coded. And alongside the board with my notes on, I have an Excel spreadsheet. I'm sorry to say, like, I've had to learn to use Excel. I avoided it for years when I was doing terrible office jobs. A first draft for me probably is where I do all the planning. So I know that there are some writers who sit down, they know what they're going to write scene by scene. I intuitively understand how a story works. Like, I've spent a lifetime reading books. So I kind of understand how a story should feel and which beats need to come in when. But I tend to sit down and write start to finish.
Okay.
And then I go in and edit.
Okay, so that first draft would just be the outline plot of what, 20, 30 pages? You're seeing it from start to
No, like
end?
it's a full novel.
Is it?
Yeah,
Right,
and
but-
sometimes, occasionally, I mean, once it's happened where I wrote a first draft in 3 months and very little changed. But generally, I will write a first draft and I do a lot of work in editing.
And what are the tricks? Because you've got to have those cliffhangers throughout, haven't you? You've got to have the bits where the reader is going, hold on, this doesn't make sense, I've got to carry on reading.
Yes.
The page-turner effect.
Yes, yeah.
So at what point do those come, would you suggest, during the course of a novel?
I usually have a catalyst, so something will happen, which often happens within the first 10% of a story, a film, TV. I usually have it in the first chapter or two. I grew up reading authors like Stephen King, where action happens on the first page, and if I open a book now and I'm not hooked, I tend not to finish it, and I've always been that way. I'm very aware in a book that things need to be happening. You know, I'm competing with Netflix, so...
What is it about crime novels? What is it about... I mean, my day job is a journalist. I've got my own theory why people are so interested in crime and so on. What's yours?
It's a classic story. It's the monster in the house story. You know, I read crime, horror, sci-fi avidly, and my genres.
So people want to be scared, is that what
People
you're
want
saying?
to be scared, but people want the resolution that a crime novel provides, which real life does not.
So it's the kind of it's the ghost train. People want to be scared,
Yeah.
but able to get out and open the doors at
Yeah.
the end to know that actually everything's safe.
Everything's
It's
fine.
it's all okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's that puzzle as well, isn't it?
I think the puzzle too. I mean, I want to know if I don't have 10 questions in the first 3 chapters, there's no book.
Questions about what?
Anything. You know, why is this character doing this? Why is this happening to them? Down to who killed this person, but it can be something as minor as why don't they want to pick up the phone to their mum? That can be motivation as well, as long as there are whys, as long as you've got questions being raised.
And also it is what has drawn, what has pushed, what has led to, what's motivated one human being to take the life of somebody else.
I mean, everything is a why done it, I think. You know, in crime, I write a lot of psychological thrillers, and those very much are why done it. You know, paranoid female thrillers, I think somebody said in a review, and there's some truth to it, but they are domestic. You know, it's that domestic scenario. My new book, The Due Date, is there's 2 women who meet and they discover they've got the same due date. Ali befriends Rebecca in the park, and they're really excited. She's lonely, she's looking for somebody to hang out with. Her husband's at work a lot, they're a little bit isolated, she doesn't have many friends. So she forms this really instant and close friendship with this woman, and then she goes to visit her to say, you know, oh, how's it gone? How's the baby been? They've been swapping messages. Her baby's born. Rebecca's due date comes and goes. And she goes to knock on her door. A month later, Rebecca denies knowing her and having been pregnant. You know, what the hell's gone on there? So it's those sort of like what if things. So it's not necessarily people haven't solved the crime. It's like, why the hell would someone, what's happening? Who's right, who's wrong, who's mad, who's not? I get ideas from absolutely everywhere, like conversations that I hear, somebody that I'm talking to. Loaded, I wrote, was set around a real case, which you may know as a journalist, the Hammersmith nude murders, where 8 women were killed in London in the 60s, which is more women than Jack the Ripper killed. No one was ever caught. And we had a true crime podcast and we covered that case on it, and it kept ticking round and round and round in my head. My new book is about a phantom night bus in London and is fairly insane, so we'll see where that goes.
Has everyone got a story in them? That's another cliche, isn't it?
Everybody probably has a story in them. I'm not sure that everyone can write in the same way, I can't sing. Honestly, it's terrible. People have walking stories, and it's how we consume things and how we do everything. All of our conversations are stories.
And where can people read your writing? What have you got out at the moment? What's your website?
So I've got The Quiet Dead is out, just come out. That's the first in what will be a trilogy. The next 2 books are written and done. My next book is kind of like a speculative crime book with lots of horror elements, so a bit of a departure for me.
On the way, Reigate Roulette, and Roberta the Robot asks Kate from Lye random questions about what she loves about living life in the best bit of Britain. We've got Planet Reigate stars celebrating local heroes in a few moments' time. Julie from the Children's Trust tells us about hidden treasure, a complete outfit, dress, bag and buttoned cape worth £150, yours for £28.50. And also, before we go, to end the show, Priory Park is featured in our 60-second soundscape. But next, the news and the weather together.
This is the Planet Reigate podcast with Peter Stewart.
OK, as I mentioned last week, Chief Constable Tim de Meyer held an online meeting this past week. A Reigate and Banstead engagement event is what they called it, with his plans for the future. And as well as the Chief Constable himself, also the Borough Commander for our neck of the woods for Reigate and Banstead, Inspector Alex Maguire.
At the end of last year, we did a survey of local residents for the Red Hill town to understand people's perceptions of antisocial behaviour and crime, and when they felt most unsafe within the town. From the back of that survey, we've identified when people felt most unsafe in the town, or when they felt that antisocial behaviour and crime was most prevalent. We've worked closely with our partners at Reigate and Banstead Borough Council, and we conduct joint patrols with their joint enforcement team just to make sure that we are visible in the town and that we are enforcing the public space protection order which the council have obtained for the town as well. Now, in regards to the shoplifting offences, I mentioned earlier, and the Police and Crime Commissioner also mentioned the good work that my team have been completing up in Merstham. When I started on the Safer Neighbourhoods team last summer, we were quickly able to identify that there was a significant issue on the Merstham estate with regards to shoplifting and other criminality around one of the local shops there, the Co-op. This was persistently being targeted by a group of young individuals. We have a very dedicated neighbourhood specialist officer, PC Fielder, and PCSO Elson, who have worked relentlessly up in that area. Now, they've worked incredibly hard and made sure that they were visible on the estate, engaging with the right people, and then relentlessly pursuing those who are committing offences, also understanding the wider impact of their behaviour on the estate. We've secured several charges against people for a variety of offences, and we've also made sure that there's relevant safeguarding in place for the young people who were at risk of exploitation, all of which has seen a huge decline in the number of offences being reported up on the estate and that are associated with that store.
Well, that's Inspector Alex Maguire speaking on that Facebook discussion. Went on for over an hour. You just heard a minute or so there. Hear that full discussion on the Reigate and Banstead Beat Facebook page if you want to have a little bit more information about policing in the county and locally as well. Red Hill has been named in the top 10 of most popular destinations for families leaving London. Down from Londoners are choosing Red Hill over almost anywhere else in Surrey, according to ukphonebook.com. 15,470 people moved from London to Red Hill since 2020, the pandemic likely influencing the need for more outdoor space. Incidentally, the UK's most popular towns to commute from to London: number 1, Chelmsford; number 2, Tunbridge in Kent; 3 is Guildford; 4 is Red Hill; and 5 is Hemel Hempstead. OK, let's look at the roads now. Station Road at Betchworth, so either side of the railway station there at the bottom of Pebble Hill, could be closed through till the 24th of January. If it's not actually closed, there could be a bit of disruption because they're looking at the footway, they're looking at the roadway and the pavement in general to see whether it needs any more work there. Still with roads, and Stuart Holmes tweeted this during the course of the week that I spotted.
I'm in the middle of South Merstham Junction with Battlebridge Lane and Nutfield Road. Behind me is a cast iron signpost. It's locally listed, but it's missing its direction finding thing at the top. So, don't know where it's gone, but we're going to see if we can try and find out it and get it replaced.
And Stuart subsequently found out that Reigate and Banstead have it in their workshop for restoration, so some positive news, and I'm sure that Stuart will keep an eye on that story for us. And if you want to send us a voice message, here's how.
Leave a text or voice message on WhatsApp 07917 874 572. 07917 874 572.
Message from Howe and Company Fish and Chips. They say they're extremely sorry to let you know that their mobile fish and chip van will no longer be visiting Merstham on Wednesday nights. They say we've tried it for a long time now, but unfortunately we're just not getting enough support to make it viable to continue. We would like to thank all of our customers who supported us, and we apologise for any inconvenience caused with our service stopping. A couple of other lines for you very quickly. The Fragrance Shop in the Belfry in Red Hill has had a refurb. They'll be back open tomorrow, Saturday, with what they call a wider range of your favourite brands. Donotta School says we have harvested our first batch of delicious honey from Donotta's new bees. And that's certainly worth getting excited about, isn't it? And there's a new carpet at the Sun pub in Red Hill. Now, it was laid last week. That's the pub just opposite Sainsbury's there. It's said to depict the motion around the sun. Why? Well, I don't know whether you know this, but that's a Wetherspoons, and every Wetherspoons pub has a tailor-made carpet for each of their pubs, wherever they are around the country, and each of those carpets depict something of local interest or significance. So why the motion around the sun? Well, because local astronomer Richard Carrington used to live in Red Hill. The Warwick, of course, is now Carrington School, and the Dome was once an observatory for stargazing. Block of flats built nearby, of course, called the Dome. There's Observatory Walk in Red Hill as well. So I thought we should learn a little bit more about Richard Carrington. So next week, that's what we've got. The story of Richard Carrington. The life and the loves. The successes and the scandal.
The Planet Reigate podcast. Great stories from Red Hill.
Yeah, the scandal of Richard Carrington. It's interesting stuff, an intriguing story. Okay. We have, here we go. We have, usually at this time, Professor Weather sends through his script for me to read, his notes, which is coming through now. Always happens just at the right point of the shows. Extraordinary. Okay, what have we got here? We've got, Tuesday. So cast your mind back to Tuesday. Tuesday, we recorded the 8th lowest temperature ever in Reigate, dropping to minus 7.2 degrees Celsius. Yeah, on the 16th of January 2024, the coldest previously recorded by Professor Weather was minus 8.6 on the 20th of October 2010. So, yes, minus 7.2. Let's hope it's just going to get a little bit milder as the spring approaches. This is what it's looking like for the next few days. Saturday looks to become cloudy and windy from the west, but it should stay mostly dry throughout. Trending milder, okay, good news, just what I said. Sunday will be rather cloudy and dry to start, but spells of rain may arrive from the northwest overnight, with freshening southwesterly winds. Monday will have some spells of showery rain at first, but turning drier and brighter later on, and very windy. On the way, the star with a car, our hidden treasure, and our 60-second soundscape, exclusive to the Planet Reigate podcast.
Welcome to Reigate Roulette on the Planet Reigate podcast. My name is Roberta. I am the Reigate Roulette robot. I want to find out more about what you love about living here. Spin the wheel to play and I'll ask you a question.
My name's Kate and I live in Lye, which is just south of Reigate and south of Dorking.
What is your favourite local pub?
7 Stars in Lye. Even though I'm teetotal, I don't mind going out for a Diet Coke and something to eat. I like things like, I don't know, burger and chips, cheeseburger or something, something like one of their specials. They're very good at roast dinners as well.
Where is the place for your best night out?
I think a really nice evening out is to go to Labani in Reigate and then have something to eat and then go down to the screen in Reigate, the cinema, and watch a good film. Anything that actually doesn't go on for longer than 2 hours.
Where is your favourite bridge?
Brockham Bridge. Just before you come out of Brockham and go over towards the A25, because it is where we used to play poo sticks with the children. And we used to do, when my daughter was in the Brownies, they used to do the duck race. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do a duck race where you had your number on a duck.
Who is your local hero?
My local hero is Dr. Radka Vahora, who is a GP down at Spire Gatwick Park. She runs Surrey and Sussex GPs, and she lives in Reigate, and she is a champion for women's health and has a busy personal life, a busy family life, a big practice, and she does a lot of work for women and women's health.
Where do you work out locally? What do you do and why there?
For exercise, I will be found walking the dog usually, and that's on Homewood Common. A very pretty walk, very, very close to where I live. So just the unfortunate thing about living in Lye is there's no pavements. So everything I do that involves walking has to be in the car. So that's a bit annoying, but Homewood is close and it's very pretty.
What water is your local go-to H2O?
Walking around Mercer's Lake with the dog, because it reminds me of when I used to take my son sailing there. He did his Royal Yachting Association sailing instructor course there, and I used to go and walk the dog in the summer.
Thanks for playing the Reigate Roulette game. I loved your answers. I will be back next week, but before I go, here is one of my favorite robot jokes. Why did the robot get upset? Because everyone was pushing its buttons. Ha 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 ha. You've been a great audience. I'm Roberta the Reigate Roulette robot. Goodbye.
Planet Reigate stars, thanking local heroes who are out of this world.
And Anita says, I just wanted to say a big thank you to the kind gentleman who assisted me in inflating one of my car tyres near Upper Bridge Road. The tyre was completely flat. I didn't have a spare one. So I was at a loss of what to do, but he stopped and offered his help. Thanks to him, I was able to drive down to STS Tyre Pros, where they promptly replaced my tyre. Truly couldn't have managed without his assistance. I also want to give a huge shout out to all the other individuals who stopped and offered their help. I was genuinely impressed by their kindness and willingness to lend a hand. It's moments like these that highlight the strong sense of community in Red Hill, where people genuinely care for one another. Anita says, thank you all so much.
Hidden Treasure on the Planet Reigate podcast.
We've put together our very own Dress to Impress for Less outfit for our Reigate shop on Bell Street. We're starting off with a blank canvas, really, a black dress, but it's actually got quite a lot of lovely detail. It's knee length, A-line, and it's pleated. It's chiffon and features a stand-up collar and covered buttons behind the neck where it fastens. It has long, wide raglan sleeves and wide cuffs. Now this retailed at $34.99. We're retailing it for just £6. To give a little bit of bling and lift to that item, we have a button-fronted cape. Now this cape is by Cerulean Collection, and just checking the label, by Blue Diamond. It's a one size item, so no sleeves as such, just this button fastening. It has a checkered background, so some black, so the collar area is more black, and some of the tartan type pattern through it. The checkered pattern is black, but it also features a light baby pink and some grey colouring. It has tassel trims to the bottom, and they are in 4 different colourways, so a lovely piece. As I say, it has a lovely collar, so it's practical, nice and warm, go over the top of a jumper, a thinner coat or jacket, etc. But it really lifts this black dress. And finally, to add our third item to qualify for Dress to Impress for Less, we have a Fiorelli handbag. It's leather look and actually very convincing. It's 30 centimetres long, 34 centimetres long at the base. It sits about just over 20 centimetres high, and the top handles are sort of stitched on the outside. The flap that comes over has little cutout areas to accommodate the front straps, so a lovely little feature. It has little chrome edgings to the edge of the handbag flapped front, and it has the middle piece, again sort of a raised exaggerated chrome trim with the branded Fiorelli and a mock keyhole. It fastens by a magnetic fastener. It has a pink zipped interior, and when you open that up, the lining's beautiful. It is black, but it has the Fiorelli branded name printed in different size fonts, some upside down and left to right, right to left, etc. And it has 2 little pockets made out of the lining to the front of the handbag. On the back, let's have a look. There's a zipped section there as well, so something you need to pop in there and gain easy access to, maybe a travel ticket, etc. That's a really great place where you don't have to open the bag. So top handle handbag, it fits over the shoulder, under the arm, so nice and secure when you're travelling, etc. So this one retails for about £35, and we're selling for just £10. So our 3 items, the cape was I think it's a £55 item new, we're selling for £12.50. So all 3 for £28.50. Now our Dress to Impress for Less qualifies you for a 10% discount if you mention it at the time of making the purchase. So we finished this promotion on the 29th of January. So hurry, come and find your 3 items in Reigate or any of our other 13 shops across Kent, Sussex and Surrey, and dress to impress for less and support children with brain injury.
This is the Planet Reigate podcast.
And next week on the show, Nina is with us. Now you've heard them, now hear all about them. Nina on the show telling me all about the Unison Choir, absolutely. Plus, as I mentioned a while ago, we look at the life and the loves, the successes and indeed the scandal of Richard Carrington. Okay, that is it. Thank you so much indeed for the loan of your ears. If you want to get in touch, hello at theplanetrygatepodcast.com. And if you've got something for our good time guide, if you want to let me know about anything else which is happening in your life, then you can do so via that email address or via the form on theplanetrygatepodcast.com.
The 60-second soundscape. Local natural sounds, uninterrupted.
As I always say before we go, at the end of the show, our 60-second soundscape. Those natural sounds from human beings this week and their skateboards. The jumps and the kicks, the twists and the tricks, as recorded at the skate park at Priory Park in Reigate.